Another moment that took my breath away completely in 2014 was my friends. A lot of people will tell you that you don't get to choose your family and that's why you have friends. And I think for me, I have been blessed with friends. I didn't choose these people, they're in my life. I attracted them, I don't know, but I have friends, and anybody who knows me, my girlfriends are very much like me, type A personalities, the one you over. But what was magical about them and was just getting on with what needed to be done in that 1 week, as I was trying to just make sure that I gave my sister a great send-off. I lost my sister in September. And, it was my girlfriend Agnes who said, I'm off to church. And she went and organized everything. The readings, met the priest before I did. And I remember thinking, oh, he must be so shocked, because when we arrived at church on the Thursday, I was sitting there trying to tell him, I need to know how this is going to work. And at some point she looked at him and said, time for you to go and robe. And I was like, thank you, Agnes. Everybody calls her Ambassador Amina. At this point, I'm just going to have to call her Amina. Amina is magic. There are people who you call awesome, and then there's her. This is a woman who, I can't say that I see her often enough, and sometimes it makes me sad because I do want to spend more time with her. But she's one of those people who's taught me that friends are not the people you spend the most time with. It's the people who add the most value in that little time they're with you. And this is a woman who sent a pickup of unga and rice and sugar to my mother's house, complete with sirens. And it was my kid sister who told me this, and I thought, she didn't bother calling me and bugging me and asking me, where's your mother's house? And no, she made it her business to find out and sent practical help. And she just took my breath away. The other person who took my breath away was Gladys Cholet. Even before I got round to that little place in my head where I was like, what does my sister wear? As we lay her to rest. Gladys had figured she was going to go and find the gown, and she had started working already. She'd asked me just one question: what's your sister's favorite color? I'd said yellow. And she didn't just make sure that the gown was done, but it was beautiful. And then she dressed my sister. She refused to believe that at any point that would be my job. So obviously now I know what to do. And this is why she took my breath away, because in that moment I knew that when somebody else needs me, I will dress their sister, their daughter for them. My job is to pay it forward. Jokindongo calmed my mother's spirit. And it's amazing what happens when you find people who understand. We can tell you all the, sob, sad things we can to make you tell you, oh, I know what you're feeling. But what Njoki did, and I remember my mother calling me saying, she made her see what she needs to do after this. Why it was important that the family remains an item. My friends, the ones I cannot mention because obviously they'd find me and absolutely throttle me if I did. But each and every one of them know that 1 week, Shafi. What I can't get over Shafi is not only was he busy parking cars at my mother's house when I got there, I didn't even know he knew the way to South B. And then when I didn't know where to find somebody who could put together a program in 24 hours, Shafi whipped out his phone and got on with it. And the final two people took my breath away, and these two people will forever, for some reason, I do not go to bed at night without saying a prayer for them, and it's Jalango and Chipkizi. Because I had the children, my daughter and my nephew, in my car, the minute my sister was in the ground, I literally took the kids out of Ukambani. And as would happen, obviously, food was unveiled, and even the grave diggers went off to get a meal. Chipkizi and Jalango took the shovels and filled the grave. They didn't know my sister from anywhere. I wasn't there. But my mother called me with tears in her voice, and she said those are just two of the most amazing people in the world. So the people who came around me, Ghost and Giddy, who traveled to a part of Kambani they've never heard of. You see them and you think, what are you doing here? How did you get here? Churchill in his pink blazer, for heaven's sake. And they were there. I found out that the only reason they drove was they wanted to hold me in case I couldn't take it. That's the only reason they traveled. And that was it. So they absolutely took my breath away.